Welcome to the Dabbling DIYer.
Follow along for more tips, tricks, and ideas for cost-saving projects, because we get into a little bit of everything. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Dabbling DIYer. You can see here at the house we have got a lot going on. We've got some white oak here for another project coming up. But I run into a little bit of a problem. And this is going to be what we're working on today. You see, I got another shed that I've built a couple of lean-tos on. And recently, basically, we've just had tools kind of stacked up. We've had our lawnmower in here. But we're wanting to do an organization project. We're wanting to do an organization project for all of our garden tools, yard tools, everything like that. So this is just going to be a quick video. We're just going to build us a nice little storage area for all of our garden tools. We're going to do some DIY brackets. Of course, you could go to Home Depot or Lowe's or your big box store and you could buy you some brackets for this, but I have something that we can use to make some brackets, and we'll probably save $100 or so. You guys follow along with me. Let's build these garden tool and yard work holders for our shed together. Try to save a little bit of money and have a good time doing it. So what we're going to be using is 3-inch PVC pipe, but I've just cut these into short lengths, just easier to manage. We're going to take these in the shop and we're going to turn these into some brackets. Now that we've got these pipes cut down into some manageable size sections, what we're going to do is we're going to draw our design on here at 1 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Alright, this is going to be measured. Take our marks. Now these don't have to be perfectly centered because we're going to be cutting these into sections. We're just going to go based off where the hole is. We'll try to keep it somewhat centered. So we will take here. Alright, we're going to come in here and we're going to drill our holes. I'm going to drill a hole here, 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 and here. So now that we have our holes drilled, what we're going to do is we're going to take it out to the miter saw. We're going to lay this up against the fence on its side where the holes are facing us, and we're going to cut as straight as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect on each side of the hole, but we're only going to cut halfway through the pipe. Let me go get that cut and I'll show you what it looks like. So now that I have those cut, you can see where I have my holes, and I took the miter saw and I just cut 90 degrees on each side of the hole just to make me a nice round, long, deep hole. Now I'm going to take it on the miter saw again and I'm going to cut these into small 3-inch sections. I'm going to cut it right here where the X's are, and I'll have 4 brackets right here. So let me go get these cut to smaller pieces and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now we have our pieces cut into 3-inch wide sections. So now what we're going to do, so this is going to act as our holder. We're going to just take it and we're going to rip it directly in half. Now we want if we're looking at it like this, we're going to take it and we're going to rip it directly in half vertically while the hole is facing us. Let me rip one and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so now that we've got our first bracket made, we're going to go ahead and cut the rest of our brackets. Now these brackets won't work for all of my tools. These will work fine for the shovels, the rakes, and things like that. But it's not going to work for my post hole diggers, and I've got a lot of paint sticks. So we're going to also make another bracket for that. This is just a simple one to use for rakes and shovels and things like that. What I'm going to do is run a 2x4 along the length, and I'm just going to screw these to the 2x4 just to bring them out from the building some, so I'm not getting mud, dirt from the shovels and rakes on the actual building. And let's go get the rest of these cut, get our 2x4, get it screwed to it, and as soon as I get that done, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so we have all of our brackets cut. I've just got 8 right now. I've cleaned them up a little bit. I'm not too worried about how sanded down they are or anything. These are just for holding garden tools. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna hang the 2x4 on the building. Go ahead and screw it to the building, and then I can hold my tools up and see how much distance I need between the brackets. Let me go get this screwed to the building, and I'll take you out there and we can see as we put this together. Alright, so I ran into a little bit of a predicament because I have a really big rake, and number one, it's too big to be trying to hang on here. Number two, to try and hang it from here, I don't have enough room. So all I simply did was just drill a hole in the rake right in the middle. We got us another piece of 2x4 up here, and we'll just stick us a screw in here for our rake. That's all there is to it. All right, so I have a ton of these paint sticks, and they just take up space in the shop. So we're gonna make a little holder that goes into the rafters. All right, for our holders for our paint sticks, what we're gonna take, we just cut us a small section of the PVC pipe. Now we're gonna screw this to the rafter like this, and we're going to be able to slide our sticks into it. But in order to screw to it, I had to drill a bigger hole. So this is a 1/2 inch hole. It's just got to be big enough for a bit to go through. And as you can see, I've already got a screw started in there. Now you are going to need a long bit to get through the 3-inch PVC pipe. So what I've got is just a longer extension basically. And it's pretty simple. You just stick your extension through the hole, and now you can screw it wherever you need to screw it. So let me get these attached, and then we'll take a look at them. Here you can see what I was talking about. So our bottom one, our bottom one is completely round. We've got it screwed to the inside of our rafter. When we put our paint stick in, it will butt up against the header, so it won't slide out. The front one is just a hook. That way, well, in my shed, I've only got a 10-foot lean-to. So if I were to do both of them like this, I wouldn't be able to slide it in both of them. So right now I can just slide it in this one, throw it up over the hook. I've got me a nice little holder for all the paint sticks I have. I may have to do 2 separate ones. This is a good little cheap storage hack. Alright, so now we have got our basic hand tools hung up. We've got our pitchfork and scraper, rake, shovel, stuff like that, the big rake, and then my ladder. We've also got up here, we've got our storage for our paint sticks just hiding up there in the ceiling, which is nice because it doesn't have anything in the way. There's nothing in the way. But the ones that are kind of tricky, because number one, they're heavy, and number two, they get dirty a lot, and I don't really want them to be sitting up against the gray on the building. So I have a maul back there, I have a pair of post hole diggers, and I have just a pickaxe type. So for my pickaxe, or that's what I call it, my garden tool, I made a wider one. This one's a 5-inch. These other ones are 3, and I just had to make it a little bit wider in the middle. That should hold the weight of it pretty well. Alright guys, well that wraps up this video. Let's just walk through what we did here. This was just a little thrown together video, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I've been needing to do this pretty much since last summer. So what we did here is we just organized. What I did on the maul for splitting wood, because it's so heavy and I didn't know if a bracket would hold it, I just drilled a hole in the actual maul and I just hung it on a screw. Works fine, gets it up off the ground, because you can see it's getting a little rust on it. I'll take and spray some WD-40 on it, and that'll take care of that. And I did the same thing for the post hole diggers. So all I really did was just drill a couple holes, and they just slide right onto a little screw, gets them up off the ground, and it looks good. Thanks for watching another episode of the Dabbling DIYer. Appreciate you guys spending the afternoon with me for a few minutes working on these organization tips. If you guys liked the video, please click subscribe, like the videos, comments. We'll look forward to the next one.